Hi, good evening in the first place. And I'd like to thank BW Online for giving us this opportunity to start with. And it's good to see this lovely audience who've been waiting, who've been, listening to all the panel, all the discussions which has been happening from morning. So, yeah, what we'll be discussing today is an outlook of Gen AI, uh, you know, its current and future transcending capabilities. So that's the topic for today. And, you know, I'll be happy to do it with my lovely panelists today here. So before starting this, what we'll do is we'll give a small introduction about ourselves. As a session chair, I'll tell what I do, and what my company does, and my panelists will do the same. And we'll be adding an extra point, which is what is that one thing which comes right out of our mind when we hear the word generative AI, right? Like if you just wake up from your sleep and you hear the word generative AI, what is that first thing which is going to pop up in your mind? It can be anything. So let's see what the AI experts see and feel that way. So to start with, I'm Murugaraj. I'm ILM Audio, which is the tag name for our platform is called Next Generation Audiobooks. So our goal is to make the experience of audiobooks up a notch, and like pushing its boundaries through generative AI. So it'll be like experiencing audiobooks in a way totally different experience. So we can call it as audiobook 2.0 or something. So audiobooks like never before, like not like Audible or not like any of the audiobooks you've heard before. It'll be a totally different experience altogether for you. So that's what I do, and I'm the co-founder and CTO of ILM Audio. And yeah, today we've put together an exceptional panel to dive into the wonders and worries of Gen AI. So let's meet them one by one. Let's start with Praveer Kochhar, who's the CEO of KOGO AI.
Thanks, Murugaraj. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Praveer. I am the Chief Product Officer and co-founder of KOGO AI. Just taking some time to introduce KOGO and a small story of how we entered the world of Gen AI. 4 years back, me and my co-founder were on a motorcycle trip, and we wanted to build something that could automatically capture our trip and turn it into a travelogue and create some videos. Now, this is pre-Gen AI. So we built KOGO. Ko is for Kochhar and Go is for Gopalakrishnan, my co-founder. And we built an AI travel storyteller. We started focusing on travel. We got great traction. Yes, of course, we launched 1 month before COVID, so 1.5 years of a startup that just launched wiped out. But KOGO was adopted by Bajaj, by TVS, now launching with Hero. 4 million users of motorcycle and car owners are using KOGO to capture and tell stories of their travels. And we built an entire travel ecosystem around it. While we were building this, legacy time, we were using NLP and a lot of other techniques. But with the advent of Gen AI, we realized that what we've built as a travel expert can now potentially build any kind of expert. So we started building tools to build any kind of expert. And that is how we've now developed something we call KOGO OS. And we are launching the KOGO store. So what you can do is any use case, you can use the KOGO OS, build an autonomous AI agent, use all the tools that are available to build an AI agent, host it on the KOGO store so that people have access, and automate any workflow. So that's broadly the journey of KOGO over the last 4 years. Passing it on to my other colleagues.
Yeah, before that, Praveer, that one question, what is that one thing which pops up in your mind when you hear the word generative AI? Because that's the topic for today.
Answers. Yeah. Answers is what I think is what has changed in people. Post Gen AI, you can ask something and you're surprised that it answers. And I mean, using many tools, you're surprised that answers were so easy to get and so much accessible,
or
and you still had to search for
or
them.
a response with context, we can say.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, and
Yeah.
still seconds to get an answer, right? So I think that's one big shift that I would say has happened with the advent of Gen AI.
All right. Okay, so moving on to our next panelist, we have uh, Nitant Tiwari, Director of Data Engineering, Tredence. Over to you. Uh,
Yeah. First, I would like to thank BW for having me as a panelist here. My name is Nitant Tiwari. I am Director Data Engineering Tredence. Uh, Tredence is a global data science and data engineering company. So we basically help organizations achieve their business goals using leveraging data science. About my background, I'm from SAP, data analytics, data engineering, all kind of stuff. So I have experience around that area more.
and that one thing which pops in your mind.
One thing which pops up in my mind, I would say, is innovation. I think GenAI stands, at the forefront of innovation right now. All the industries are getting transformed. Multiple industries are getting transformed with the ability of generative AI. With whether we look at content generation, or whether we look at solving complex business problems, or whether we look at, augmenting creativity, human creativity. All those things are coming, and I believe this is just the starting. If you look at other sectors, healthcare or climate modeling, or even, education, there's a lot of work which is going to come up in the future course of things. So Gen AI probably holds the key for the future, where, artificial intelligence along with human, like it augments human capabilities, and it can change the way, it can completely transform the way we live, we work, and we interact. So that is what I feel about generative AI.
Cool, that's indeed an interesting perception. So, the next person in our panel is quite an interesting person, I should say, before I introduce him. How many of you have heard about this guy who created a chat GPT for law, Indian law? It's been, it was getting like really, it was going really viral on Instagram and stuff. Anyone heard about him? Like the boy who built chat GPT for Indian law. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'd like to say I'm the boy who's helping people get away from
with a
crimes.
lot of stuff probably as well. And that's the boy we have here, the founder of uh,
Rare Labs. Yeah.
yeah,
Rare Labs is the
yeah,
parent
it's
company.
Mandaar Mukesh Giri, and founder of Real Labs, who built LawBot Pro, which was the first Indian chat GPT large language model for Indian law. So over to you on that.
Yeah, thank you for the great introduction. My name is Mandar Mukesh Giri. I'm the founder of Rare Labs, an Indian legal tech company, and I'm also a practicing advocate at the Supreme Court of India. So Rare Labs is building AI powered tools for the legal professionals. And why that is necessary is because, as you may know, we don't ever have our weekends free. Call your lawyer friends, they will always tell you that shit, yeah, I can't go today out with you because I have work. So what I've seen throughout my childhood is that, first of all, legal informative aid was only restricted to certain regions in India or where lawyers were. And secondly, my father is extremely busy. So the only way to tackle was to use the power of Gen AI to allow legal professionals to do their legal tasks in the least amount of time possible. So for example, our first product called LawBot Pro has helped over 330,000 citizens solve their legal issues. And you just have to tell it what sort of issue you're in, and it will tell you about your legal rights. But of course, that's not sustainable for us. So recently, we've pivoted to a subscription-based model to help lawyers and law students do legal research. And we've been covered by B-Bomb, Bar and Bench, and reels made on LawBot Pro have reached approximately 15 million organic views. And the second product that we've recently launched in beta is actually a drafting bot. So it's called DraftBot Pro. DraftBot Pro allows lawyers to do legal drafting and research in just one click. And it's taking the time which used to take approximately weeks to now minutes. And it's actually solving three of the core issues that we've seen. First, as I've already outlined, is that I don't have my weekends free. Second is the fact that lawyers are always so busy that they cannot take in more clients. So if we are boosting productivity for them, even 2x or 3x, they're actually making a lot more money than they used to. And third is reducing the burden that cases have on the judiciary. So faster disposal can only be done when the case goes from scratch to filing very fast. And cases don't get dismissed because of delay. So yeah, that's what we're building at Real Labs, and we plan on launching a lot of other tools to help legal professionals make a lot of money and save a lot of time.
And to finish off that one question we've been answering.
You actually answered that. That was actually context length, because that has been very helpful for me. As you may know, that GPT launched with 4K context length.
Yeah.
And what that allows a person to do is input a lot of data, and then the AI
So
will
you're
answer.
talking about the tokens, number of tokens,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Huh.
So now if Google is offering up to 1 million tokens,
yeah.
that's a lot. I can
Gemini
put in,
Pro, yeah.
Yes. I can put in a lot of documents and then just get all of the work done from the AI only. So I don't have to do other sessions.
All right, great. So moving on to the last person in our panel, we have Animesh Sameul, who's the CEO of E42 AI. Over to you, Animesh.
Yeah, thanks, Murugan, and it's a pleasure to be here with such an esteemed panelists and amongst you all. So yeah, like Murugan said, my name is Animesh, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of E42.ai. We are a no-code platform on which enterprises are building what we call as AI co-workers, which means like, large consulting companies have built AI recruiters, large manufacturing companies, they've built AI HR executives, or, AI AP executives, and so on and so forth. The list, there are more than 40 odd AI co-workers built on our platform. We are a funded startup where we have raised over $12 million so far, and we are right now on the cusp of going global. So we've just expanded to the US, and that's where we are today. To answer your second question on generative AI, what is the first thing that comes to mind? It is basically the power of human imagination multiplied by 10.
Great, cool. So how we have planned our panel discussion today is we are just gonna jump into 3 different segments. The first segment is gonna be the current capabilities of AI. The second one is like the future potential of AI and its challenges. And the third one will be the ethical considerations and, the societal impact which Gen AI is gonna pose. Yeah. So the first session is gonna be done by Nitant and Mandaar. They'll be having a discussion on that. And before we get into the first segment, I think I still haven't answered the question that what's that one thing which comes to my mind or pops into my mind when I hear the word generative AI for the first time. It's this analogy which always comes to my mind when, imagine a student who excels in all the topics in school, right? Like from sport to math to science to everything, like he's an all-rounder kind of thing. So that's one thing, it's kind of an analogy which comes to my mind when I kind of relate with Gen AI, and probably that's gonna be related to a different level of growth and evolution of AI with that particular analogy. So yeah, so we'll go on to more the first segment, which is current capabilities of AI, and over to Nitant and Praveer. Yeah.
Mandaar.
Nitant and Mandaar, sorry. Yeah.
Want me to start? Yeah. So one thing which I would like to start around the current capabilities thing is like a lot of large organizations with whom we are working are sitting on huge amount of data, and they have certain use cases that needs to be tailor-made. So in terms of current capabilities, one thing which is coming out very largely is the custom foundation models which are built over custom generative AI models built on top of foundation models. So we work with a lot of companies who have a lot of data from ERPs or external data that can be leveraged here. So one use case which I would like to highlight here is one of the organizations, pretty big organization having lakhs of employees in multiple geographies, speaking multiple languages. Their employees, whenever they had any HR related questions, the SLAs used to be pretty high in days. So this organization reached us and how we can help them, and then we help them build, the customized generative AI model on top of foundation model, so that we don't need to do the training from the scratch. And then we put all the data sets which this company had, along with there's specific documents related to HR, and then we were able to build an application on top of it. And this application basically helped these employees to get real-time answers to their queries, which SLAs were pretty long before. So this is just one example. If I talk about, there are multiple areas like companies who have implemented ERPs have a lot of business processes, be it finance, be it supply chain, HR, and when these data and when they are sitting on huge amount of data on these platforms, then there are multiple use cases which they are looking to solve using this data. So one of the other things which I would like to highlight here is like these companies, like one of the use cases which was there was the data was there and SAP, and they were looking like the users were not technically proficient enough to write SQL queries, or neither they had access to flashy real-time dashboards. So certain generative AI models were built so that they can easily query in plain English and then get answers from the ERP data, which was not possible before. Like they were simply they can simply query like what was my top 5 sales for the past month, or they can be question around invoicing, like in certain region what are my top 10 invoices which are pending. So these kind of questions where users are not that proficient with technically proficient, the generative AI has been helpful in solving those kind of problems, and we have been helping a lot of those customers who are looking to solve their problems using generative AI. So that's it, what I would like to say on this topic.
Yeah.
Mandar, you can.
So, Mandar, how do you think India can leverage on generative AI?
Well, I guess
India in particular, amongst the global market, India in particular, how do you think they can leverage on Gen AI?
I think the one thing we saw with Lawbot Pro, which led to it go viral all over social media, was that generative AI was answering a lot of the questions that people cannot get answers to anywhere else. So although that may be a huge risk because it may spread misinformation, but it's also very necessary in a country like India with such a large population to have access to knowledge. So in that manner, that you can access knowledge at any point of time, or you can get answers to your questions. You don't have to Google and go through 10 things and then think what may be the best thing possible. So I guess that is where, as a population-rich country, we'll lead. And Bharat, working in generative AI will always be catering to a lot of people. And for that, I guess AI is the only thing which can help a lot of people in an instant. So it's not a very long way to go for a person to get answers or for a person to do anything. It's a very short thing, but which can help a lot of people at one point of time. So talking about one thing which I saw was that once B-Bomb posted a reel, we saw about 1,200 people on our website in a second.
Wow.
So that sort of reach, and then our systems being able to, hold on to those many people and answer everyone, I think that is very special. And instantaneous answers, which are correct, they will help India a lot.
All right, great. So one interesting thing which I recently saw, which Gen AI can do is, in the industry of gaming, it can render real-time environment. you know, as the player plays and, the AI kind of understands the mood of the player, like what he's trying to do, and it kind of opens up those kind of environment, be it a beautiful waterfall or a good city landscape, or whatever it is, whatever he's feeling like, and whatever is the he's moving on towards. So imagine like a game where the world is not pre-built or like pre-modeled 3D model, rather it's real time, it's rendered based on the movement, or whatever it is. So that kind of like is really interesting on what's going on forward. So uh, pretty much good on the first segment. I guess we'll quickly move on to the next segment, which is what will be the future potential and the challenges in Gen AI. And Praveer and Animesh will be taking on that. Yeah.
Sure. So, yeah, I think future potential wise, we are not even at the tip of the iceberg, right? So everything that we know in life, everything that we are exposed to is going to be totally transformed in the next few years with generative AI, right? So what is generative AI? We are all I mean, it all emerges from our kind of neural networks, right? So if you see that as we grown up, we learn more with every experience, we have more and more information in our brain. And the problem with the brain is that it's got limited space, so it can only take in that much data and process that much in real time, right? With AI, that's not the problem, right? So whatever we have learned till now, the whole history of the world or whatever we are exposed to can be put into a couple of GPUs today, right? So now you take that and multiply that with hundreds of thousands and millions of experiences. So that is the kind of potential. So when we are talking about the future, it's going to be so transformed, and it's going to actually define what transformation is. Transformation is basically the older version indistinguishable from the newer version, right? So the first time you'll actually see transformation in every aspect of our lives. Coming to challenges in adoption, we are a B2B company, so I can tell you what challenges CIOs face today. When it comes to AI. One is when it comes to generative AI. One is basically how do they justify the expense, right? Second is security. How do they, how can they be sure that not just the data but also the intelligence is secure, right? Which is a more important aspect to protect nowadays than data. We were always taught data is the oil, but actually today if Amazon flushes out your data, it can still tell you when you'll order your next phone, right? So that's the future. So the intelligence and like humans, when we became intelligent around 10,000 odd years ago, when we developed our cognitive skills or our ability to be generative, and express through language and through numbers, we suddenly came to the top of the food chain in a small span of 10,000 years, right? And we pretty much determined which other species survived and didn't survive. And so it's going to be with enterprises, right? The enterprises that are powered with AI will pretty much determine which other enterprises survive and don't survive. Like, in one of my conversations with one of the largest appliance manufacturers in the world, out of the US, when we were talking, and he said his actual competition today is not from the LGs and Samsungs of the world, right? Then I was wondering who it can be, right, for an appliance manufacturer. Any guesses? Who do you think, an appliance manufacturer's competition is if it's not another appliance manufacturer?
I have no idea.
No? It's his reseller, Amazon, right? Because Amazon knows when you're buying a washing machine, what features you're looking for, how much you're willing to pay, where you stay, right? To set up the assembly line to manufacture a washing machine is not that difficult anymore, right? So if one of the largest appliance manufacturers have that fear, which means it's real, which means that today there is no other option but for enterprises to adopt generative AI and make it a very core part of their business strategy going forward. So that is the that is the, if, so the opportunities, rather I would say, the misses are much more than the opportunity. Opportunities are obvious as going to be there, but if you're not part of it, you're going to miss out and lose big. And yeah, and on the other side, like I already said, there is, there are these few very typical issues that CIOs are today challenged with. But I think, like for example, we give ROI for any coworker built on E42 platform within 2 weeks, right? So I think those are not real concerns, but I think they also have concerns with regard to security and ROI. But that's just because it's pretty new, and these challenges are what the CIOs today, I think, face with. From a B2B point of view, maybe Praveer can add to that. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. Possibilities of the future. I mean, it's very difficult to predict the future, the way and the rate at which things are happening. But we at KOGO have taken some conscious decisions while building our platform. One of those decisions was an ethical decision, right? What is the kind of company that we want to build when we are looking at building with AI? And the core of that message is realizing human potential. We think that in the medium term, AI is going to help save a lot of time for people to do repetitive tasks, and they can focus on doing more strategic and more creative things. That is what people are meant for. And I think even in the slightly longer term, this might be the answer that, the whole world is looking for, a very, very good work-life balance. I think AI can deliver a work-life balance, which is not only enhancing and saving you time at work, but also giving you more time with your family. And I think that's what human potential at KOGO for us means. So that's the guiding force. We even wrote a manifesto around human potential, just so that we have a guiding light when we build and push solutions that help people save time on our store. Having said that, challenges are also many. We live in a country where the demand is huge. To cater to that demand, one thing that AI is very, very hungry on is compute. And I think compute is going to be a very big challenge. Imagine building hundreds and thousands of small language models, fine-tuned, requiring hundreds and thousands of GPUs to run on. Compute and resource-hungry AI models, whether small or large, as demand increases, is going to be very, very challenging. And I think India, as the emerging power, is well poised to take on that challenge. And we must address that challenge. The second challenge that I feel is very little talked about is the cost of running AI solutions. I mean, we monitor our agents and we know how expensive it is to run an agent. Is there somebody who's willing to pay that much amount of money that every question goes to a GPU and a language model is in the loop? So there will have to be techniques developed to reduce cost of serving content and cost of using these solutions. So these are the two big challenges that I see. Of course, the next segment is about ethical and legal issues. So
Yeah.
so I'll leave that.
Yeah, and we are running out of time as well. So
Yes, so let's move to that.
So let's move to that, and just give a small continuation on that. Gen AI has already gone through a lot of evolution, right? And we are in a very good, spot in terms of Gen AI. But imagine it still has to go through a lot of evolution because there's something called as a continuity issue in terms of Gen AI. Let's say you ask your DALI or your ChatGPT 4, generate me an image of blue alien. It's gonna generate a good image of a blue alien, okay? And you're gonna ask next question to, the blue alien to do something else, like drink a coffee from Starbucks. It's gonna show you a different blue alien, not the same blue alien, right? So that's a continuity issue where we all see this amazing video outputs from Sora, but you can't actually create a full film out of it or a movie out of it with continuity issues. This continuity is there which has to be fixed, and I think that's on the right direction of evolution which is going through OpenAI and that stuff. That's the challenge I felt, and we have very little time, so we'll touch the last point, which is the ethical considerations and the impact on society, on the ethical this thing. Because when it comes to ethical, the moral compass moves both the ways, a good way and bad way, and how Gen AI is impacting over it. So we'll just have a quick word from like all the panelists on.
Yes, I think these tools are new. We don't know how to use them. We don't know the repercussions of these tools. So they all come with conditions apply, and we know how they hallucinate. So I think responsibility will have to be two-sided from the person who provides the solution and the user. The user also has to be responsible for asking the right questions and getting those answers. So I would say it's two-pronged when it comes to ethics.
Yeah, what I would like to add here is that in terms of ethical, there are a lot of challenges, as it's mentioned, deep faking, and misinformation, all those things are coming. But one of the things, one of the things which I want to point out is that the way a lot of research is going on, if we manage to get more information around explainability of data and more control around the data, that is something which would help in figuring it out more in terms of how we can address the big challenge around this ethical bit, because it's a pressing concern and it needs to be addressed. So that's what I want to add there.
So I'll tell a little funny story on this to touch on this. So I think 2 years back, an AI made a painting and it was sold for like millions of dollars. And people didn't even know, the person who bought it didn't even know that it was done from AI, right? So imagine a student, a kid now wants to learn arts, wants to learn painting in his college. And 20 years later when he graduates, super AI is doing like 1,000-fold better work than him or her, right? So where is the relevancy of like what should that kid study? The kid wants to do art, painting and other stuff, but when the kid finishes his college and comes out of the college, there's a AI tool, a technology which does the work way better than whatever it's doing, right? So that's one thing, I think it's gonna affect this thing, because that's what I'm calling it as relevancy. Like, what should we learn? What should we study for the next 20 years? Because I think for the next 20 years, AI will be better in almost all the fields or industries which we are learning now. Our kids are learning now, right?
Yes, sorry to interject, but I think a kid can't even become a software engineer now because of Devin, as you may have seen. Yes. So I guess labor-intensive tasks coupled with the intelligence of AI, that may be a better field for a person to go. Specifically talking about the legal sector, an AI cannot argue yet, or it cannot judge yet because of the biasness issue. So it also touches upon the ethical concerns that an AI may be slightly biased towards a particular group or any sort of profiling that can be done. So I guess to answer what your question poses would be that maybe people learn how to work with AI, and I guess as more organizations adopt AI, they will always allow a person to oversee that work. So it's like computers coming in the early 2000s, that people thought computers would take all of their work away, but that has actually not happened. People have gotten a lot of work because of computers. I mean, a digital nomad can earn a lot more money now, sitting anywhere in the world. So that's all due to the computer, but it's not
so what you're trying to say is there's always going to be a human touch.
There is always going to be a human
But it's
touch.
not going to be the same like how it is. It's going to be totally different.
Yes, because then morality cannot be, I mean, an AI, in my opinion, cannot judge legal morality or social morality.
Oh, yeah, very interesting discussion. Yeah, so I think just very quickly, I mean, AI in judges, right? I think for AI to clean up the act of bias, it might be very simple just by ensuring that there is no, that you correct the data, right? You clean the data of bias and put it. In judges, there might still be bias, right? But yeah, but we never know. But yeah, the world is changing very fast, and also to answer to your question also, like what we are seeing is you don't train children in a particular field or a skill nowadays. You train them how to adapt to new skills, right? So that's the I think that's a better way as far as that goes. And yeah, we are seeing, and as far as the future from a social point of view, I think we are in the middle of a huge transformation. And like Praveer said earlier on, we are talking about, a very, very exciting future because, humans, thanks to the Industrial Revolution, we were made to think that the only thing that we need to do is study to get a good job and work as part of a large enterprise, right? But if you ask anybody, who's in the finance department as an AP clerk, he doesn't want to get up and say that, hey, today I'm going to process 400 invoices, right? So there are many jobs that people are not super excited about, and they can do other things like they can do art, or they can play football, or they can teach scuba diving. So they will, because the enterprises will do well because AI will take a lot of this, and there will be a lot of jobs and a lot of scenarios coming where to manage, to build, to create, run AI workers, all of these kind of things will also, like with every new revolution, that's going to come up in a very big way. And I think it's given us more time to be able to do exactly what we want to do, which is continue this discussion, but I don't think.
Yeah, I guess, Animesh, you're also not going to Mumbai.
So I think to wrap it up, it was a really good conversation with my lovely panelists. And again, thank you, Business World, for the opportunity. And thank you for the lovely introduction from the anchor as well.